everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. And before we dive into today's episode, which is Dorit Kemsley spiraling, trying to do damage control and get ahead and spin this story and this narrative after it was exposed that allegedly her and PK have separated, that he is living in the Beverly Hills hotel. There has been, cheating allegations, they have money problems, and there's a lot going on. But before we dive in, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. So I have a clip of her interview with Page Six where she's, in my opinion, she's spiraling. It's like someone who's really trying to dig themselves out of a hole. And the reason why I think she's doing this is because the information about her and PK's separation was leaked. And I think that she wanted to control the narrative around everything. He's not living with her. He's been in London. The alleged fake robberies and break-ins and all of this stuff going on, her PTSD struggle, all of that. So let's watch what she has to say, and then we will comment and unpack everything. Okay? Here we go.
And they've been very different, very difficult for me. There's no area of your life that it doesn't touch. And, my husband, who travels for work, and he was traveling the most that year, and it was the year I needed him the most, and that really, it definitely took a toll, and we had our challenges. And, when you're going through something that's very foreign, and we weren't filming at the time, we were off season. So you go through it. I mean, it's your private matters, right? And it's not like we're heading to divorce court, but we're disconnected, which PK and I, we really are very codependent, and we're connected. So it's like the first time in 13 years we've been together that we felt this disconnect. And so it was, you're kind of like trying to even figure it out. So no, I wasn't sharing and talking about it per se. In fact, when we came into this season, it was really important for me to be open and honest and talk about it, because it's the reality. It's the reality of what I faced and we faced. And, it's not just in my marriage. It was, in a lot of areas in my life. And, PTSD really grabbed hold of me. And then, with the second robbery, it threw me back in tenfold.
I don't know if you and PK get into this down the line, but I know from my own personal experience sometimes, but when something really stressful or traumatic happens, I tend to just bury myself in work. And when you were talking about how PK was traveling, doing all this stuff, do you feel in hindsight or from him, was that a defense mechanism because he couldn't process, or was it just so happened to be a really busy time?
That is such a great question. And actually, I'm going to tell you, thank you for even bringing that up and hearing it from your perspective, because these are the kinds of things that what we end up doing is we personalize it, right? So it's really like, from my perspective, here I am, where I'm always the one who is there for everyone. And, I need you the most and you're not here. And didn't or couldn't really look at it from any other perspective. And whilst you're working through things, particularly that, I think it's really important that you do open yourself up to be compassionate to the other person, for both of us, him, me, and me, him. And it's true. Listen, PK wasn't here, the night of the home invasion. And I'm sure that there is some guilt and some feelings that he needs to process. And it's easier, I suppose, you bury yourself in work and you're running and you're not really faced with it. But, when you're in a relationship, and, it's even the hard times that you have to be there for, and I know it's not fun, but, especially going through what I had to go through, and, taking care of two little beautiful children that I kept it away from them. And it was really important that I did. They're still young enough where they're not Googling and they're not on social media. So I could, keep it away from them, taking care of them and working and trying to do things and not having my partner there. It made life very difficult, and it obviously caused some problems. But we ultimately, thank goodness, we never separated. We had our challenges, and we continue to work through, and get better and better and stronger. And, that's not always something that happens overnight, you know?
I love that you guys didn't give up despite a challenging time. So it was interesting that when this season premiered, those rumors about your marriage came up and there were reports that you weren't living together. How did that impact you and PK personally after putting in so much work to get to a better place?
So, I got word just before the article was going to run. And, that's why PK and I decided to put out a statement right away, because I knew that this could, and we're not the type really that there's been so many things in the paper and rumors and so on. I don't debunk things. I don't even pay attention when things are just not real. I let it have its moment, because why give it air, and I feel like you'll end up chasing your tail. And this was one of those times where I just knew, especially because we were very open and vulnerable and talking about it in the season. If we weren't going to address it, then it could take on a life of its own. And so we immediately put out a statement. It's never fun, to see those things. But at the point that you're jointly putting out a statement, debunking it and saying, this is not true, we're not going to focus on rumor and hearsay. Rather, we're going to continue to work on our marriage and the commitment that we have to the family as a united couple. It was like, whatever anyone wants to say after that, well, then go for it. You have our take on it. You have the ones that want to know the truth. I mean, we've just put out the truth. So, it's never fun, Evan, but it's par for the course.
Yikes. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I thought she was spiraling. And did you notice how she no longer has the accent? Like it comes in a little bit like whilst going through stuff, but now because you can tell she's stressed out, she's trying to get a story straight, the accent is kind of falling away. Like, girl, what happened to your accent? Anyway, I personally think that I think they were living separate lives. I think that Dorit was doing her. I think PK was doing him. And I also think that the home invasion, I mean, the fact that she even called it that to me kind of proves that it was fake. Like, I don't know. If someone came into my home, I don't think I would call it a home invasion. I would be like, when I got robbed, when people robbed my house. I think it was more traumatic than she thought it was going to be. And maybe that's an issue. And I also think the continual financial problems that her and PK face, the bankruptcies, the multi-million dollar gambling debts, after the home invasion, they got $2.3 million in insurance money back, which was the exact amount that PK had to pay to the casinos that he owed. We also know that they owe over $1 million in taxes. They have that tax debt. Also, Dorit had to pay back hundreds of thousands of dollars in other tax liens and debts and all of that stuff. And I know that the house that they are currently renting, it's in Dorit's name. So I personally think Dorit is tired of the fraud, tired of the schemes, tired of the cheating, and she's ready to dip out. There was also the allegations about her cheating with Mauricio. I personally think something did happen between them. That's just my opinion. I think Dorit thinks that now she's able to level up. I think she wants to find somebody with real money so she can stop scheming and scamming and being a grifter. I think that she's no longer sexually attracted to PK, if she ever really was. The way she looks at him this season is like with disgust. I don't think that they're still having, doesn't seem like there's sexual passion between them. She definitely has more sexual chemistry with Mauricio than she does with BK. That's for sure. There's been conversation about BK going to London and whether he's hooking up with guys or girls. I personally don't care if you hook up with guys or girls, live your life. I'm just, reporting on what is being said out there. I'm not making a judgment on it. Do you? But those allegations have been out there as well. I do believe that PK was living at the Beverly Hills Hotel and not at the house with her, that they really have been separated for months. And I think right now she is just spiraling. As we can see in the video, she was talking fast. I think when the guy, I don't know what his name is, when he asked the question about, oh, well, like, do you think PK was just coping with the trauma by burying himself in work and traveling? You could tell she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy you said that, because that sort of was a good excuse for why PK was gone, when I think the truth is he was gone because they were separated. And I think she wants to get out of it before she has to pay $1 million in back taxes. So I want to know what you guys think. Based on the video we watched, do you believe her, or do you think this is nothing but damage control? She's trying to get ahead of it. Also, does she look really gaunt to you guys? Is there Ozempic face going on here? She definitely looks older and like more gaunt in the face. And I don't mean that in a way to like, I'm not age shaming or body shaming or anything like that. That's not what I mean. I just mean she looks hella stressed. She looks really stressed out. And Dorit usually comes correct. She's the cutest moment, but she just looked really stressed. That's what I mean by it. No shaming by that at all. So put it down below. Let me know what you guys think. And we'll be back tomorrow to recap the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But before you do that, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.